Video walkthrough on a Keystone Bullet ultralight. We'll start in the back. You are pre-wired for a backup camera. It does not come with a backup camera. If you choose to have one installed, that's definitely something we can try to get done. And then it does use power from your marker lights. So the running lights on your tow vehicle need to be on for that camera to be on. You do have a spray port right here. Quick disconnect for a hose. It'll be this hose right there. Moving along. Bumper caps come off. Squeeze these, pull them off. That's going to be the perfect spot to store your sewer hose. Do have an outdoor shower. There is hot and cold out here, and there's a spot to clip it up right there. And then you wrap it up through here, close it up, and lock it shut. Got your black and grays right here. The gray handle is your gray tank. The black one is your black tank. Your gray is like your shower and sink water. Your black is your toilet water. Then I always recommend dumping your black tank first, letting that get all drained out, then doing your gray. That'll flush the hose out, so you don't have to carry around a stinky hose. Right here's your shore cord. It's a 30 amp shore cord. This will be the shore cord that comes with the unit. And they're around 25, 30 feet long. Twist this on, and then you can twist this right here to lock it. Gonna be your main water hookups right here, as well as your battery disconnect. Your battery disconnect, turn it like that. It disconnects your battery from everything. So when you're plugged in, all your 12 volt will still work, but if you were to unplug and disconnect your battery, all the 12 volt will turn off. If you're storing this and you're storing it plugged in so it can be charged, make sure your battery is connected. If you disconnect your battery, that charge will not get received to the battery. Below that, you got your cable and satellite hookups, and then you got fresh water gravity fill here. You just rest your hose in there, let it fill up. And then this one right here is your city. If you're running city, you'll just operate off the city water pressure. If you're pulling from your fresh tank, you need to have your pump on. And this one over here is a black tank flush. You can use that to flush out your black tank when you're draining it. Only do that when you're draining it. Don't like confuse it with your city water, otherwise you're gonna be filling your black tank with water. Over here, you got your switches for your stabilizer jacks. Right down here, so this bottom one is the rear. And we'll let those go up. You can see them go up. And then the top one's the front one. Now these are stabilizing jacks. They are not leveling jacks. Do not try to use them to pick up the front or rear of your camper. You will amp them out and trip the self-resetting breaker. If for any reason that breaker were to fail and you would just keep running them jacks trying to pick it up, you might bend and break the jacks or ruin the motor. And if that were the case, that is a non-warrantable claim, because that would be considered customer damage. Let me check these. What they're good for is stabilizing. So if you want your trailer to be level, tongue jack front to back. So use your power tongue jack to lift up and down the front to get it level front to back. And then if you want it side to side as you're backing in, back it into some blocks under your tires on the low side. I recommend using like a 2x12. You go like that. Then you have a spot for manual backup. And then this is your drain for your fresh tank right here. So we do fill it to test it, so you can watch the water come out. There you go. And then you do have this cap you can unscrew. And then run your hoses up through here and all your cables, so you don't have to have this compartment door always open. Got your crank right there, and you got pegboard over there. Dual 20-pound cylinders. They are filled. Got an automatic regulator, automatic changeover regulator right here. Which way that's pointing, it's going to pull from that tank first. If this one were to get depleted, it's going to automatically switch to pulling from this tank if this one were to be on. However, this doesn't move, indicating it's switched what tank it's pulling from. So keep that in the back of your mind. And then some people have it in the middle, thinking it's going to pull from both tanks equally. It doesn't work that way. It's one tank or the other. Group 24 RV marine grade battery in there. In the winter, I recommend taking your battery completely out, storing it somewhere warmer than outside, because the winter is harsh on these batteries. And if it's going to be a long time between trips and you don't have a spot to plug it in during storage, I definitely recommend using that battery disconnect. Coming back to over here a little bit, tire pressure is 65 psi. That's what you want your tires to be filled at, not what's printed on the tires. Then you got your VIN here, your unloaded vehicle weight, lots of good information right here. Okay. Back up front, you are partially set up for solar. You have to buy the kit that you need for it, and that just hooks up there, and that's just going to trickle charge your batteries. Power tongue jack with a light, raise and lower. It beats hand cranking it every day of the week. And you got your propane cover right here. We're going to leave this off because they're going to be doing hitch work, and it's easier to do with that cover off. Here's the other side of that storage with that pegboard. Moving along. Got outdoor power. It's GFCI protected. All your GFCIs are on the same circuit, so if one's going to trip, they're all going to trip. Then you have cable and satellite ports outside. And then you do have there's a backer right here for a TV mount bracket if you wanted a TV outside. Coming along to your water heater. So it's all set up for you to use. The only thing you'll have to do, put your plug in the water heater, just thread it into there. Hand threaded as far as you can go. 15/16 is the socket size. I use a little short socket with an extension. Then a ratcheting wrench to tighten it in there. They do make a tool that we sell here to use on this. It's more like a box end wrench, and you could totally use that if you wanted to. Once you get the plug in and you have water hooked up to it, the tank will fill automatically. Then you'll be good to turn it on. And it's pretty easy for that. Turning it on and off is pretty easy. Just only the maintenance you have to do to it is just clean in here and in here often, and keep this whole area clear of dust and debris. And I definitely recommend draining it after every trip. You don't want water sitting in there for weeks because it'll start to get stagnant. So to drain it before you take your plug out, crack your pressure relief, water will start squirting out. That's okay. Once the water stops squirting out, snap it closed, then you can take the plug out. If you neglect to do that, you're going to get a bath. And if you've been running it for a while, you're going to get a hot bath. And you might even lose that from it getting shot across the room. Although, not room, but you'd be outside. But so just keep that in mind and keep it clean. I would do all the cleaning on this and all the exterior parts of your appliances 4 times a year. So that would include your furnace, cleaning here. They make screens for these. They don't recommend you run them with the screen on. But as far as storage and transportation, that's good. It'll keep road debris out of there, and it'll keep insects from building nests in there. And then same thing with your fridge. Clean in here often. This is just vent for airflow for your fridge. You can even pop this off. I recommend doing that twice a year and cleaning back there. Do you have an outdoor grill? With these, you can hold it open like this. And then to light it, all you do is turn these on to light and light it with a lighter. Now, when you open it out for the first time, you'll have to hook up this propane line. It's a quick disconnect. See how it's hooked there? We hook it up to test it. And this valve, the way it is on. So if you turn it the other way, it shuts off. And then you're good to undo the propane line. Snake it in back there. Close your cover. There's a lock right here. You want to move out of the way. Push it back. Make sure you lock it closed, because even though this will be closed, this might end up like hitting the inside of this and maybe potentially damaging it. Got an outdoor mini fridge with a little freezer portion and a little ice cube tray for it. Be good for like making cocktails outside or keeping some extra beers in there. This does not work the same way as your interior fridge does. This only works when you're plugged in. Alright, a few more things. All your sealant around the outside is warranted through us for 90 days, all the sealant here. And then your roof, there's no ladder, so it's not a walkable roof, but I recommend peeking up there every once in a while, checking your sealant, checking your roof material itself. If you see anything wrong, take pictures. If you decide to buy the materials to fix it yourself, keep the receipts. Because the only way to keep the warranty on your roof is proof of regular maintenance. So we'll mosey our way onto the inside. We'll start in the bedroom. Got a light there. You turn on off by clicking it in the center, and then you have an outlet and 2 USB ports and an outlet and 2 USB ports there, as well as a shelf with pass-through for your cables for your phones and whatnot. Emergency exit. Super simple. Lift up, push out. If you want to use it as a regular window, set it like that. If there was an emergency, you would push this all the way through, grab the screen here, pull it off, jump out the window. Do have a spot to mount a TV here. If you buy a mount from us or from Walmart, look at the screws and make sure they're not too long, because odds are they usually are too long and you might poke a hole through the outside of the camper. And then you do have power for it, as well as satellite and cable. Then a few more things in your bedroom. The bed comes up. You got storage under there. These doors, unlatch them to use them. They don't lock closed, but they do latch open. When you are traveling, you do want to make sure that these are latched so they don't swing freely. And then another little cool thing about these, you have a little access there. You can put like a laundry hamper in there and throw your laundry in there, or you can use it as a trash. Put some trash can in there. TV. Make sure you do strap it when you travel, and then you do have the outlet back there, as well as satellite and cable. So if you do end up hooking through portable satellite, you'd have to swap this to the satellite connection. And then your remote for it is right here. Here's the remote for your radio. We'll go into the radio right now. Your radio is also a DVD player. It's a standard definition. So you turn your TV to the composite or the AV channel, pop a DVD in there, and you'll be good to go. Power it on. Got your volume knob here. You have different zones, so turn zone 2 on. Now inside and outside is playing. So zone 1 is inside, zone 2 is outside. Turn inside off, just be playing outside. And then you can set that vice versa. These right here are presets. Push and hold to save a preset. You have play, pause, stop, rewind, forward. These will also scroll through radio channels, Bluetooth, source button, and then you have auxiliary, headphone jack, and then USB right there. Tap that, turn it off, super simple. Sink, these sink covers are nice. I usually have them up like this, because that's like the decorative side. And then you can use the other side as a cutting board. It's the same material as a cutting board. Do have a pop-up outlet here. Push it in, it clicks up, lift it up. It's GFCI protected. And you have dual USB ports there. Push that little red tab down there. Push it closed. Snap that down. Your microwave, it's just like your microwave at home. Nothing super special about it. It's only going to work when the camper's plugged in. And they do have a light and a fan. For your stovetop, it's super simple. Fold the glass up. Turn this to the flame. Twist the sparker to light it. The gas is off now, so that just bled all the gas out of the lines. But you do the same to all of them. Your oven's works a little differently. Turn this to the flame. Push and hold that flame as you're pushing and holding that. You want to look at this pilot down here. As you're pushing and holding it, twist your sparker. You can see it. Once the pilot is lit, you can then turn this to whatever temperature you want. Turns the burner on. If you're going to cook again and you don't want to relight your pilot, turn it to the burner. Turn it to the flame, shuts the burner off, leaves the pilot on. I always recommend turning it off before you go to bed. You don't want a lit pilot overnight. Light switch here. Up turns the knobs on. Down turns the knobs and the oven light on. And then the middle has them both off. Fridge is super simple. You have on or off, auto or gas. So right now it's on auto. It's on. Turn it off. We'll leave it off for now. I just recommend running on auto all the time. Auto will default to 110, which is what you usually want anyways. If someone were to trip over your shore cord, or you just decided not to plug it in, turn your fridge on, it'll automatically switch to running off of propane. And then another thing about these fridges is they do take about anywhere from 8 to 10 hours to get to operating temperature. So keep that in mind if you have the ability to plug it in the night before. Breaker box down here. You'll have all your breakers for your 110 appliances. Have all your fuses for your 12 volt. You got 15s, a 10, and 240s. Definitely recommend carrying some spare fuses with you. This turns into a bed. Lift up the table, pop them legs off, sit on these shelves, and then you just play puzzle with your cushions to create a platform that you can sleep on. Dual USB ports over there. Then we can finally go back to kind of where we started. You have controls for your water heater on propane and electric. You can run them both at the same time. If you are going to run electric, make sure that there is water in it. Then you can read battery, how full you're fresh. It's slowly draining because we filled it. It's a test. You have black one and gray one. You do not have a second black tank or a second gray tank, so ignore black 2 and gray 2. Controls for your water pump. If you're going to pull from your onboard fresh tank, turn on the water pump. You got a porch light right here, which does your LEDs on the awning. Ceiling lights, just do these main 4 lights. Controls for your slide out. Don't have anyone riding in it, and then when you're opening it, watch the outside to make sure nothing's in the way. Then you have your controls for your awning. Watch your head. Your awning does not automatically stop when it's out. You're going to have to visually watch it to see where it is. So just hold the button until you see the bare tube and the flap. And then your awning's all the way open. We're almost there. Boom. If you kept holding extend, eventually your awning will roll in, but it'll roll in backwards with the fabric wrapped the wrong way around the tube. Awning is adjustable. Grab it right here on the large part. You can do this on both sides. Pull it down. It'll pitch one end down. If it is raining, you can do that to have water pitch off to the corner rather than all the way along the edge. If it starts storming real bad, really big gust of wind, roll your awning back in. You don't want the wind to rip it or to get ruined. And then if you roll it in wet, as soon as you get the chance to, as soon as it gets sunny, back sunny out again, roll your awning back out. Let the water dry off because you don't want it to be rolled up with moisture in it because it'll start to, you'll see streaks and it'll start to build mildew and mold. Then you do have your thermostat here. You can go through modes. First it'll ask you fan on. Hit it again. So your auto fan, you go through fan, fan on, low, high, then your auto fan, low, high, and back again, fan, low, high. Auto is going to allow it to cycle on and off to whatever temperature you have it set at. You have it set to 60. Once the AC hits 60, it'll shut off and then it'll cycle back on and off to help regulate that 60 degrees. If you just had the fan on, it's just your AC is going to keep running no matter what. So once it hits 60, it'll still keep going. I recommend just leaving it on auto. Tap mode again, goes through furnace. Just your furnace will run. Your furnace goes all the way to 85. Tap mode again, turns it off. Use to change your temperature, this changes your fan. Very easy, very simple. And I like the nice eligible screen. Alright. Kind of covered that. Covered most of the stuff in the living area. Got a few more things. Bunk houses. You got USB outlets and regular outlets and storage on both bunks. As well as lights you can click, turn on and off. The bathroom. Very nice. Got your GFCI protected outlet. This is your main GFCI outlet. If any of them were to trip, this is the outlet you come and reset it at. This is your light switch for in the bathroom. Got medicine cabinet. Plenty of storage in there. Your shower, very simple. Hot and cold when you want to use your shower head. Turn it on, then pull this up. It'll divert water to your shower head. Vent, crank it to open it. And then you have a fan right here. Definitely recommend running that when you're taking any sort of shower. It's going to keep the moisture off these walls. And your toilet, very simple. As long as you're pushing this pedal down over here, it's just going to keep flushing. So you see, there's no water hooked up, but when you do it, it'll spit water and that valve will open. Alright, well there are a few more things we need to cover. like some safety equipment right over here. Got your smoke alarm. Those run off the 9-volt batteries. If they start giving you those low voltage chirps, it's time to replace the battery. And then right below your breaker box, you have a carbon monoxide and propane gas alarm. That's hardwired to the 12-volt system. So there's no batteries you have to worry about changing. However, if the battery up front, the battery I showed you at the beginning, if that were to start to die, that'll start chirping, giving low voltage chirps too as well. And then you do have a fire extinguisher right here. Now, all the safety equipment I just showed you expires in 10 years. Regardless of whether you use your fire extinguisher, whether any of the alarms have gone off. In 10 years, replace that equipment. All right. Well, that concludes our video tour of your Keystone Bullet Ultralight. Hope you guys found this video informative. I hope you guys enjoy this camper, get lots of good use out of it, and goodbye.